No, new spoilers have not dropped yet. I am just here today to read through the comment section and see what everybody is talking about. What are the opinions? What are the theories out there? And what are the main takeaways? I cannot wait to find out. So, with that being said, let's hop right into it with the first comment. And the first comment, believe it or not, was actually from me. That is right. I did a self-insert right here. And I simply said that I love the fact that Shiki was the reason for God Valley. I now very much think that Goondy Roger was a positive, by the way. Of course, devil fruits were important, but she was the main treasure. Let's go. Goon Valley, here we come. I'm sorry, guys. I had to drop the G word in there a couple of times. I didn't realize how many people think that the word gooning is evil, like it's possessed. You hear the word and all of a sudden, you're no longer a virgin, guys. You know, gooning is a meme. It's a funny word. We all know that a gooner is just a regular person, right? It's somebody who likes another person a little bit too much. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. Gooning is great. Gooning is healthy. Everybody goons. There's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. So yes, like I said though, coming off of last chapter, you go back to the video, I never said that Goondy Roger was a bad thing. If anything, I said I was pretty in the middle about it. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. But now that we know that Roger showed up to God Valley to potentially save Shiki as well, I'm like, yo, that's a W. Right? Because I think that transcends Goonage, right? How high does your goon ceiling go? Roger and Rox, they capped out. And I think that a lot of people have a problem with these characters, right? The old guard having hard eyes and their hearts jumping out of their chest over Shiki. But here's the thing, right? Close your eyes if you don't like it and pretend like the heart eyes aren't there. Pretend like they're not simping over Shiki and view God Valley as rescuing their Nakama, rescuing a friend instead, right? If you don't like Goon Piece, just think about it like Eni's Lobby. Luffy and the gang, they went out of their way to save Robin, who just got kidnapped by the WG and the Marines. That is pretty much essentially what's happening here at God Valley. The only difference is that they're also attracted to Shiki. That right there is like the only difference here. So I do indeed think that that is a positive for Roger. I think that is a positive for Roxy Zebek. And I personally absolutely love that they don't just give up on Shiki because she got captured. They don't treat her like a nobody, right? They see that Shaki's been taken, they hear that celestial dragons are gathering on an island, and guess what they do? They go. They go immediately. So yes, I think that is a massive, massive thing. And of course, if you don't like the Shiki plotline, do not forget, they're also there for the devil fruits. It's not just Shiki, it is the devil fruits too. I saw a lot of people debating about this in the comments section, about whether or not they're going there for Shiki or the DFs. So I went ahead and pulled up the chapter where they talked about it. Let me go ahead and read it verbatim right here. We start off the God Valley chapter with Kong saying, our reports haven't been verified, but if the danger is real, it will be a disaster. Garp says, this is about the Celestial Dragon's little field trip, isn't it? Why should I care if they're in trouble? I always said it would come back to bite you if you messed with Hachinosu. It is their own fault for poking the hive. What did they expect? You do not just swipe the crown jewel of Pirate Island. Of course, they would come to get it back. So yes, it looks like Rox and the crew were going to get the treasure of Hachinosu back, which of course is Shiki. The devil fruits are big, but Shiki is just as big, if not bigger. And I think that's really funny when you go to the panel of the Roger Pirates and the Rox Pirates jumping off of their ships at God Valley, because you can tell that they're talking about Shiki and also talking about the devil fruits, right? Whitebeard is like, hey, like, hopefully Rox keeps his eyes on the prize here, and then Big Mom's like, hey, I'm gonna get to it first. That's like, okay, Big Mom's probably talking about devil fruits, Whitebeard is probably talking about Shiki, right? You can see that everybody has very mixed goals at God Valley. So I think that's a big W. And another thing that I thought was pretty fun too, sorry, we're getting into like a tangent right now, but what's fun is that this isn't coming out of nowhere, right? When you go back to Saboti, Shaki's bar is called the Ripoff Bar. At first, I thought that's because their drinks were exuberantly priced, Not the case. It's because it's a ripoff bar of her legendary bar that was actually stationed at Hachinosu. That is why it's called a ripoff bar. And now, another thing that I believe PewPeace posted on Twitter, and I went to go verify it myself, but in Volume 90's SBS, somebody asked Oda if Shaki had a relationship with Rox D. Zebek. And Oda said, ooh, that was 30 years ago from before Volume 40. Why do you remember that line? I don't know a thing. And then he starts whistling. Brother, this SBS was 7 years ago. And then, of course, Volume 40 was even many more years before that. So Oda has planned God Valley to be Shaki-oriented from the very beginning. It was quite literally in front of our noses this entire time. So, like I said, I do not think that Goon Valley is bad. I don't think the Gooning jokes are bad either. I think we should really just have some fun with this. And of course, if you don't like the Gooning, just think of it as Goldie Roger and Roxy Zebek going out to save a good friend that they just so happen to like romantically, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I think it is natural to like people and want to save them. Because I have seen absurd comments saying, oh, you know, I cannot believe Shaki's the reason for God Valley. That sucks. And it's like, okay, what else would you want? Would you rather them not save Shaki? Like, I don't really get it. Like right now, even thinking about the Straw Hat Pirates, if Nami were to get captured by the WG, Luffy would go to God Valley and try to save her, right? Of course, Luffy isn't simping and gooning over Nami, but it's still the same context of wanting to save somebody you care about. So yeah, I do not think that this is a bad plot point. I think it's very befitting for the series and shonen in general, but that's my opinion. So, going on to the next comment that is not from me, they say the entire God Valley incident is a really upscale, which it kind of is. I mean, Rayleigh walked away with the main prize. You know, did Rayleigh actually find the real One Piece? Maybe. Oh, dude, look at this. Oh, guys, cover your eyes. If you don't like Gooning, cover your eyes right now. Goon D. Roger, Rox D. Gooner, Edward, New Goon, Scopper, Goonbon, and more importantly, Sanji upscale. Yeah? I talked about this before, but it's funny how whenever Gooning is brought into the equation, or hard eyes, if you don't want to use the term Gooning, Sanji also gets brought up as well, which, W, I guess. This one says, never in 100 years would I have guessed that the cause of the God Valley incident would have been a Helen of Troy situation. That's the thing, man. Men have fought wars over women, right? I don't know if you guys are in relationships with girls or guys. Doesn't matter. I don't discriminate. Here's the thing. If somebody kidnapped your lover, somebody kidnapped your sister, your mom, or, you know, a good girlfriend or boyfriend of yours, would you not go and save them, right? I think it is an easy answer, so I'm glad that Roger and Rox both crashed out like that. W in my book. Big W. Better to save an ally than to abandon them, in my opinion. The Goon Valley incident. Oh, God. The Epstein Dragons. Okay, I've never heard that one before. Kidnapped Shaki. So the Simp Squad, the Rox Pirates, go to save her. The Goon Platoon. Oh, dude, what is... We're kind of cooking with these names, man. The Goon Platoon Roger Pirates get wind of it and go to God Valley as well. Because Roger didn't want Shaki to stay with Rox. Shaki chose to go with Ray and the Goon Pirates. Then, plot twist, Rox gets love sickness and dies. Okay, that last part, a little bit of a meme. But everything else, pretty A-okay, right? Pretty canon, in my opinion. God Valley was the Battle of the Gooners. Okay, is this all going to be memes? Wait a minute. I love the Goonery, but wait. Is this nothing but Gooning? I didn't proofread these beforehand. Okay, I think we have some theories in there. All right. Shaki was the One Piece version of Helen of Troy. Now I know why Rayleigh is considered Roger's right-hand man. Roger just wanted to be able to say he got a hand on Shaki. That's a good one. That's very clever. Monkey D bloodline is just built different. 1. Luffy punching princesses left and right. 2. Garp doesn't give a about attacking the Kuja pirates. He didn't care for Shaki. All his attention was on Roger. Dragon saying F going to war for a mere Ginny. My revolution is more important. That's wild. What's funny too is that I bet when we get a flashback, if we get a flashback of Garp and his relationship, or Dragon and Luffy's mom, I feel like we will see a different side of them. But for now, they just got their eyes on the prize. Shaki. got the best grip out of the blue sea is wild, brother. Really upscale. Okay. It looks like everybody's just having fun with this chapter, which is what I love to see, right? I think it's great when the community can come together and have fun with the chapter. I really do. I think, and funny enough, I say this now, right? But you gotta imagine, these are the top comments of the YouTube section. I've seen some of the bottom comments already. I have my phone, let me see, can I pull it up? Oh, yeah, here it is. I have my phone tied to some of the comment section, and it just pops up left and right, brother. And let me tell you, I do think that this, believe it or not, might be one of the most hated chapters in One Piece in 2025. I've seen a lot of negative comments about this, which is pretty insane. Goon Valley had to be deleted from the world. Plot twist, Rocks died protecting Shiki. Ooh, that wouldn't be bad. Also, now that we have the context of Shiki being at God Valley being a thing, I kind of go back to the Roger and Rocks dialogue that we got. Okay, so I'm looking at right here. The last dialogue we get out of God Valley is Roger saying, "Hold it, Rocks." And then Rocks says, "You're in my way, Roger." With this context, were they fighting over who could save Shiki first? I wonder. And then also, I do wonder what the context is of the Roger Pirates and the Marines teaming up against the Rocks Pirates. Like, what led to that? Because Roger and Rocks, they kind of went there for the same goal, more or less. Give or take the Devil Fruits, of course. So what led them to directly confront each other? And why did Roger end up protecting the Celestial Dragons? Maybe Rocks was going too far. Like, maybe one of the Celestial Dragons hurt Shiki, and then Rocks was going on a rampage murdering everybody. And then Roger's like, "Hey, hold up, Rocks, that's a little bit too much." Maybe that's it. There's a good chance that the whole story was originally about love and affection, and that Imu-sama was in love with Joy Boy, but he rejected her, and he loved Lily instead, so Imu-sama decided to show the world pain. Like, what the heck, man? Could happen. Like I said, I think there is a weird thing going on with Lily and Imu. You know, people believe that Imu is Lily, or Imu's possessing Lily, but that right there is still up in the air. And one of the few things we know about Imu for sure is that Imu has a picture of Lily in his flower room. Well, his or her flower room, right? We don't know Imu's gender, but yeah, you know, Imu could be a fellow Gooner as well. The treasure of Hachinosu was, yep. Imagine, the voice entry is just Joy Boy and Imu fighting for Lily. Could be a parallel. But then again, you know, we do know that... Wait a minute. I was about to say, we do know that Amazon Lily existed back then, so maybe it was over the former Empress of Amazon Lily, but Lily, the name Lily now, it's like, wait a minute, did she start Amazon Lily? Because that would be kind of crazy. Lily starting Amazon Lily, that could fit, but Lily is also the queen of Alabasta, so I don't know how that would work. Unless Lily disappeared and created Amazon Lily, and that's why she, quote, went missing. We assume Imu killed her, but we don't really know anything yet for certain. So this could actually hold some plausibility, odd to say. Shiki, being the treasure, explains why when the Roger Pirates arrive, his crew tells him it's a free-for-all and whoever claims the treasure gets it. All I hear is Sanji upscale is what this comment says. Sanji haters have been real quiet since this has been shown. From all the top tiers in the verse are simps. Loki, dang it, my idol died. Don't worry, I'll fight in his name. Harold, yeah. It was a shame how he died. Sweats nervously. Rocks his ghost. A2, Harold. A2, yeah. We don't know what Harold is going to do to Rocks yet, but I could see him trying to curry favor with the WG. All right, we do know current day Albaf is not with the world government, so this doesn't work out. And we do know that Rocks goes to God Valley, and that's where he perishes, whereas Harold wasn't there, to our knowledge. But we don't know what Harold is going to do until that point. This says, I have so many questions now. 1. Was Shiki a Rocks member? I hold this question with Big Mom's kids too. Does this mean Rocks and Roger fought for Shiki instead of the Celestial Dragons? How did someone kidnap her from an island where her Gooners, potential top Gooners, were Rocks, Whitebeard, and Shiki? That is a really good question, this one right here. Like, how did they kidnap Shiki? Like, you know, for Ginny, I said this in the video, but for Ginny, She was surrounded by fodder, right? Kidnapping Ginny, kind of easy. Kidnapping Shaki, and considering the fact that Shaki can fight, that's a feat. You know, I think the Holy Knights did it, maybe an Admiral, but it's got to be some top-tier character. Everyone should be thankful she didn't have the love fruit. The Gooner agenda is very alive, it seems. Yeah. As far as like Shaki being a Rocks Pirate member, I don't think so. It sounds like she just wanted to be on the island and have her own business. She could be affiliated with Rocks, but I don't think she was a Rocks member necessarily. I think we give that onus to Gloriosa more so than Shaki. Last comment, they say Rocks basically starting a war with the Celestial Dragons over Shaki reminds me so much of Luffy doing the same for Robin in a weird way. Really shows that Rocks is just like the version of Luffy portrayed in the newspapers in the verse. Yep, that's how I see it, man. You know, erase the hard eyes, erase the gooning. It's really just a guy saving a friend. All right, but with that being said though, y'all, thank you so much for tuning into this video. That is it for today. You know, I just wanted to see what the comment section was talking about, share my thoughts, my opinions, and have some fun with y'all. You know, we're going to wait till the chapter comes out. Let me see here. I see right now, though, that some of the panels of the chapter are releasing. We might actually get an early chapter, which is going to be kind of fun. But yes, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for being here. We will come back when the full chapter releases. It looks like it might actually release kind of soon, so we might not get full spoilers. So stay tuned for that. A lot of things here are subject to change. But until then, you guys take care, and peace out.